Hi guys, what's going on? And welcome back to another episode of Total War Arena as we continue with our Greek Cavalry series. So we are now on to the start of the Tier 5 Cavalry, the Companion Cavalry. So as is the way with the series, I haven't started, I haven't done anything, I haven't played a single battle with these guys yet, so we can do it all together. So a few things to note. Obviously we carried over the upgraded helmet and the upgraded greaves from the previous unit. And that's why we specifically went out of our way to research them, because we get them in this unit to start with, so it gives a little bit of boost to body armor and morale, view range and movement speed, which is particularly nice, the movement speed. Research wise, looks like we're going to be going down first with the weapons, which is always nice. I probably will spend the extra 5,600 to get the awesome cavalry lance thing. Then we've got a couple of body armor ones that we can upgrade. And I'd rather have the movement speed than that extra little bit of body armor, so we probably won't bother with them before we get to the tier 6. So with this one being a bit longer, we might split this tier 5 into 3 videos possibly, whereas before we've just been doing sort of like a start and then a fully upgraded end video on these guys, but we'll probably do an all the way through. Other than that, I've put the consumable on with the steeds straight away. I looked through everything and nothing else really seemed to be particularly useful. The impact damage seems to be the most useful to me, and obviously melee attack's always good as well. Nothing else particularly I decided was really worth it, particularly as he's a shock cavalry which is designed for the charge, not for the sort of sustained combat. We're also going to have access to wedge at tier 5, this is the first time we'll have that, which could be interesting as well. And I'm noticing it looks like we've got a few other things that can be upgraded with Alexander, so we perhaps want to start to get some of these done while we've got a bit of free experience. So we'll upgrade our movement speed a little bit there. We've got quite a few things actually that need to be upgraded, so we'll have to start doing that a bit more. So without further ado, let's hop into our first battle and see how we get on. So we are loading into the Alps map. Looks like everyone on our team is tier 5, so we're top tier and bottom tier, so we've got nothing higher tier to worry about, which is always a good thing. I think I'm just going to spawn in the centre for the moment, see where sort of the rest of our infantry deploy. What have we got in terms of ranged? Some slingers, and there is some artillery on our team as well. There's a fair few other cavalry units as well, so we could have some other cavalry to perhaps try and fight against, which is normally quite good for the Greek cavalry because obviously they have that really strong charge, and the charge impact is so high that it will almost always beat other cavalry in the charge.
Capture the enemy base or kill all enemy forces.
It would be quite interesting for those of you who sort of keep an eye on sort of the updates and things. They recently released a tier 5 premium unit, the Sarmatian Lancers, which is a Roman tier 5 shock cavalry unit, which plays very similarly to the Greeks. So it'll be kind of interesting to fight against one of those guys, see how that pans out. It'll be kind of interesting, but the odds of us meeting them are kind of slim. Just tier 5 Roman normal cavalry. So I'm going to enter wedge formation for the start, which gives us an increase to charge, impact and impact damage, but reduces our combat ability. But obviously we can turn it off after the charge if we are going to be not running away. If we're going to stay and fight around, then we'll pull it turn it off again. So I'm just sort of loitering around the middle looking for what I'm going to do opportunities wise. There's some Romans in the centre, so maybe we should start having a look at them. A bit of friendly artillery going out. The enemy have got some slingers as well, so we have got to be careful of that because they'll do quite a lot of damage to us.
Apparently our allies see us as fitting targets.
These guys are going to come close. We should certainly win in the charge, which we do. We're nicely spread out a little bit there. We'll turn off our wedge and hopefully, yeah, we'll rout them and completely destroyed them. Good, so that's first kill. We took a little bit of damage from friendly artillery fire, which obviously not really the artillery player's fault. I charged in kind of at the last minute there, so I don't think he was expecting me to appear. So let's get back while we decide what we're going to do next. So there's some more of those Roman cavalry down the centre there. I also saw some arrow fire. The slingers are up on the hill. Look. But obviously they're going to have a phenomenal range, so we're at risk of coming into range even from this distance. Although their arc of fire should make it quite hard for them to do anything. Let's see if we can get 2 more. Let's try and go for a cavalry dash. Oh, where's one unit going? Where are you going? They unfortunately seem to be actually quicker than us. I don't think we're able to catch them by the looks of it. Oh, I've pressed the wrong. Thankfully, I fucked that up massively. Right, let's get one unit out. And round. Okay, steady guys, steady. Oh dear, this is going terribly. Move! Move! Oh dear. Okay, that was just a shocking performance. Let's try and get the hell out of here. Oh, we can anvil them. Why don't I do that? That would be a good start. Oh dear. Well, I did about everything that I could have done wrong there. Wow. What a shocking display. We're going to end up routing on that unit as well. It's got really completely caught up in the middle of them. Might completely lose that unit. It's recovered. Yeah, so what went wrong there? Well, it looks like he did a lot of things wrong. He split his forces, so I didn't want to hammer with all my units together. I wanted to try and hammer with a few into some of his units while staying sort of split up from the rest. But instead, I hammered the unit from the rear, so I ended up hammering into my own units. And then it just all went downhill from there, really, didn't it? So yes, that was a fairly poor display. Looks like we're generally in retreat from the hill. So let's see if we can maybe do a little bit better this time. We want to try and just to keep everyone moving, but not as a group. We want to try and maintain some flexibility. Make sure this guy... Okay, that was better. That was better. And we won that one as well. Okay, that's more like it. That is more what we want to see. That's the power of the Greeks. That 9,000 charge damage straight in. Let's get everyone off anvil. Anvil them. We've got some mounted warband coming in, so we need to get out of here now. This is where it's going to be harder. We've been war cried, so we're losing a lot of morale. We're going to lose that unit. Yeah, let's try and get everyone out. Yeah, we've lost a whole unit there, which is unfortunate. But we did do quite a lot of damage to those Romans. There was quite a lot of enemies there. I don't want to walk into the way of enemy javelins. Let's try and run away. If they're going to charge us again, then I'll have them. Who are we going to go for?
Crush them. I will be remembered.
Okay, let's try and keep the movement going. Sorry, my commentary is going out the window. It's getting a little bit tense. So I've activated Cavalry Dash. I am in a right crap situation here now. We managed to avoid his charge, but we're now completely surrounded. I haven't got another charge, so I can't do anything against this guy now. I've got no anvil. I can't really do anything. I haven't got a charge, and we're just going to rout, I think, to be honest. As soon as he was war cry, I'm routed. We can't really get away from him. He's as quick as us, and we can't really do any damage to him in hand-to-hand combat. We can try and see if we can hammer it inside to see if we can get any damage as we pull out. But the odds of us being able to get anything out of this one is not looking good. Not a great first game, to be honest. We made quite a few mistakes there, I think, particularly when we were in that valley there when I missed my charges. That was pretty poor, I think, on my part. Oof, just missed his Wrath of Mars. Looks like we at least got away there. Well, we've got 2 units remaining. Maybe we can do some damage against some enemy units. What, though? I'm not sure. Are any of their javelins still alive? Doesn't look like it. We could just rear charge some of the Roman infantry, although they're actually kind of about fairly central. It looks like they're going to be routing soon anyway. Of course, on an enemy unit. So there's perhaps not going to be a very clean charge there, so we'll perhaps try and avoid that one. Let's have a look a bit further down here. Yeah, over here when I really screwed up my charge there and basically missed all of my charges, which really wasn't very good. But over here we had a bit more luck when we were charging those Romans. He split his units, but we managed to fulfill properly what I tried to do the first time with not charging all my units at once, but sort of controlling 2 of the charges and then using this unit to charge separately. And the charge did about 10,000 damage to each of the Roman units, which was really effective. It was a little unfortunate then, some tier 5 barbarian cavalry came around behind us, which caused us quite a bit of damage. But it does look like this battle is currently going in our favour, which is a good thing. Let's see if we can cause a bit of harassment to some of these enemy units. And there's only 2 of us, so we're not going to be able to do a lot of damage. I'm contemplating whether to just try and charge some of these back of these Principes, see if we can do a bit of damage, particularly if they're going to get engaged in combat. go for it. Hammer. We did about 2,000. See if we can anvil them. No. Okay. Well, we did about 2,000 damage there. It's a little bit more than I thought. You know, I guess I could have kept skirting around, but I think, to be honest, you know, it was just as well. I might as well just get that little bit of damage in with that last charge. Those two units really aren't going to be able to contribute much to the rest of the game. So I don't think we really lost a lot there by that last little charge. Looks like the enemy has secured their own base, but we should have more than enough units now to deal with them. So we've got some slingers, although while they shouldn't really be venturing out too much on their own because they're going to be kind of vulnerable through the enemy cavalry, which is still alive. So we've got a bit of tier 5 barbarian cavalry of our own, and some Punic mercenaries, and some tier 5 hoplites. Is that a Miltiades hoplite? Yes. Yes, it is. I'm not sure where he's going back. He's perhaps leaving one unit behind to defend the base a little bit. Hopefully we should be able to do quite a bit of damage with our slingers, but they're doing the right thing really by waiting is the right move. Or taking this observation point maybe. They do have phenomenal range. We are going to be having, hopefully we're going to be having, assuming the replay all works out, we're going to be having a really cool battle replay soon on looking at some tier 5 slingers. So that'll be kind of cool, something to look forward to. Because you can see how much damage, while they have really low weapon penetration against sort of more lightly armoured units like these cavalry, they are devastatingly effective. Cut down a lot of their units and at such range. They just need to be careful they don't get caught out by being too far forwards of their friendly sort of support. It looks like, oh, our artillery is set up on the hill. We have definitely got this one in the bag. So hopefully I gave maybe a bit of a demonstration, at least in this battle, of how not to do it when we're down here, and how perhaps it more should be done. How we did quite a bit more damage against these Romans when we ploughed in the first place. It's just a bit unfortunate. Those dastardly tier 5 barbarians came around behind us. That caused us quite a lot of damage. But yeah, they do seem from the off to have, you know, the classic Greek strong charge. So I'm pretty pleased with them so far. I'm quite looking forward to getting them a bit more upgraded. Hopefully they'll be even better. Certainly need to be looking to get Alexander's abilities a bit more upgraded as well, because they've still got quite a long way to go. So it looks like these infantry are going to come into range of these slingers shortly, hopefully. Why is he stop? Oh, there we go. Now opening fire. I would have thought it would do a phenomenal amount of damage to Romans from the front, because the actual penetration of these slingers should be quite low. Although big boulders like that will do quite a lot of damage. Looks like the enemy cavalry is off hiding somewhere. Setting those guys on fire with the Scorched Earth from Vercingetorix. Seems to be quite popular currently at the moment, and it was in closed beta as well. A lot of people like using Vercingetorix as the barbarian cavalry commander rather than sort of Arminius, who's more sort of supposed to be the barbarian cavalry commander. And it's kind of cool, particularly with the Scorched Earth. I think it gives quite a lot of flexibility, and because barbarians have the cavalry charge built into the cavalry, not the commander, so that's kind of why I think you can get away with using it like that. Okay, doing quite a lot of damage against these Romans there. These cavalry are probably going to want to get out of this situation if they're not careful. Ooh. Oh, they got out just in time. This guy should perhaps use his heavy infantry charge to slam into them. Might have been better. But here comes the Punic mercenaries, the heavy infantry, who are going to really secure this battle. Although there's not exactly a lot left to kill. Only a couple of Principes which are routing. We've got these guys which they can get engaged in a fight with. I would have thought they would do. Pronto, so here they are. Punic mercenaries, in my experience, generally aren't quite as good as the Roman heavy infantry. Seem to sort of lack some of the stats in terms of sort of strength, in terms of, what's the word? In terms of, like, you know, body armour, aggression, that sort of thing. They're just a little bit less than the Roman infantry. Although with Hannibal they do get the forced march, so they're sort of a lot more manoeuvrable, so it's kind of a bit of the balance. But the Romans are routed anyway, and we have annihilated the enemy. So at least we won our first battle, even though it was a staggering display on my part. We did get a few nice charges off against enemy cavalry, which is where the Greeks do seem to excel. That charge impact is just so high, it means you almost certainly beat all enemy units all the time. Oh, we were smack bottom there. Wow. Let's not look at that too long. That wasn't such a good performance. So obviously we've got things to look forward to going forward. We should have more impact damage. You know, once we've got these units fully upgraded with the extra 25 impact damage, it's going to be pretty good. It's going to give us quite a lot more damage, hopefully, when we hit enemy cavalry. We can almost wipe out complete enemy units from it. So, let's see if we've got enough to upgrade any more of our abilities. Activation time on anvil, or slightly more increased impact damage. Definitely have that, I think. Make hammer a bit more strong. So, let's hop straight into our second battle.
Nothing
Hopefully,
is impossible.
I won't make quite so many mistakes in this one. Honestly, I reckon it's the pressure of recording live. It makes it harder. But anyway, I shall see you all in the battle. So we are loading into the Battle of the Rubicon. Looks like we've got quite good tier matchmaking again. Looks like we're joint top tier along with everyone else. But there's quite a heavy balance of cavalry in our teams. Looks like we've got 5 cavalry commanders on our team, so 50% of our team is cavalry. So if the enemy team is going to be a similar sort of layout, we're going to have quite a lot to contend with. But it gives us quite an opportunity to use our sort of high charge impact to beat some enemy cavalry and charges. The question is, where am I going to go? I'm just going to go here, I think. Conscious about getting stuck into any fights too early on. If we're not careful, you know, I don't want to get caught into sort of a melee engagement or anything like that. We want to be finding the enemy cavalry and getting in those good solid charges, hammering them, and smacking anvil and getting ourselves back out of the fight again. The biggest problem I think the Greeks have is the fact they don't seem to really have that much speed. Their movement speed is 7.8. It's not slow. It's not that they're terribly slow cavalry. They're as quick as Roman cavalry, if not slightly quicker. But compared to barbarians, they can always be caught. Also conscious of that light artillery that sat there nicely in the open. Let's get out of that range. So yes, they kind of can be a little bit vulnerable in that sense, which is something I think we've got to kind of worry about a little bit. Have those light artillery really been left completely undefended?
Double time.
Wow. Kind of watching that, that's kind of interesting. What are you doing? Did he miss his cavalry charge and just charge into the wall? I think he did. Let's move over this way, see if we can lend a hand. He's kind of, I'm not quite sure what he's doing. He had kind of quite a good opportunity to get in there. He seemed to miss that one up a little bit. So it looks like we've got some enemy infantry advancing across the open, but there's a bit of an engagement starting up and around here by the looks of things. What have we got? We've got some enemy celeres there. That could be interesting. Maybe we should, if we retreat across the river. I want to sort of shadow these guys a bit. Although these Romans look kind of a tempting target, it's got to be said. Turn in. Charge. Oh, we've got a bit of damage in there. Let's anvil and get out. Oh, looks like the second unit's coming in, so we want to perhaps try and not do that one. Let's have a go for these celeres then, particularly with these two. Oh, he completely missed his charge there. I'm trying to keep these two because the anvil isn't back on this one, so I'm trying to keep that as a separate unit. Right, he's trying to take cover in the enemy enemy spearmen, but I don't think that's going to help him. I'm just trying to get round to a nice clean flank before coming in. It's not going to do a great deal, that isn't. No, it's not, but we got the route, and we'll activate anvil to hold them into place. And hopefully we can get a good bit of damage against them. Which we are doing. We're doing not doing too badly there. What is here in the centre holding this flag? Some units of Principes. Looks like they beat our dog handlers resoundingly. So let's regroup ourselves back together. We haven't really taken any losses yet, which is good, and we've got a little bit of damage in against some of those enemy units, although no great charges particularly. Let's see if we can do ourselves a little bit better. We've got these phalanxmen here, friendly units who might be able to get stuck into a fight, which we can assist with. Looks like we're actually capping out the enemy base quite quickly. So maybe we want to be looking to try and get a bit of aggression damage in soon, otherwise it's not going to be a very exciting game. We're being chased off by those spearmen there. Hopefully we can just do enough to kill these Romans. I'm hoping that we'll be able to just surround them and get them to rout. So we've got that guy coming in.
Hit them down.
Let's get them out.
Shock cavalry.
We've got some more Romans coming in there through the long grass. It looks like we're kind of on our own here now. So let's pull out of this situation. Looks like we've not got any allies here in support anymore. I thought we still had some Phalanxmen, but it looks like they're in full retreat up to the north of the map. Try and have a look. What's going on over here? There's some enemy Companion Cavalry, which is something we're going to have to work. They're going to do a brilliant rear charge now against our Phalanxmen. This is going to be very effective. Yes, look at that. It is, and they're going to cause routes if they're not careful. Okay, I think... Well, no, we'll go and assist. We should go and assist. It would be wrong just to leave them completely. We've got these pikemen behind us that I'm conscious of. Come on, guys, speed! Right, first one's in.
Our troops are under attack. Battle ready. Shock cavalry. Executing all quick. March. Smash them apart.
Try and get a little bit of damage in. And then we're going to anvil the whole lot and get out. That's the plan. Okay. Let's try and anvil and get out of here now with what we can. Let's activate Cavalry Dash to give us a little bit of speed. We're taking quite a lot of losses. This unit's probably going to rout and completely be lost. Alright, it's Alexander's unit as well, which sucks. But we did get quite a lot of damage in against some of the enemies there. Although not all that much. Looks like we're going to win the match, but... Pretty disappointing performance again. Oh, I don't know why those guys routed. I didn't see that. Obviously some effect afterwards. Maybe we got a war cry or something like that against us. Yeah, it's been an okay match. It looks like we're going to win, but again, a fairly disappointing performance, really, from me. I'm not particularly pleased with this. I wonder if there's any pros or cons for using the wedge against sort of not using it. If there's any benefits to or not, you know, using it. Ooh, took a little bit of damage hitting that watchtower. Surely that's enough to rout them. Surely they must be surrounded on basically every flank. Oh, we have to get out here because those Companion Cavalry are going to do a lot of damage to us otherwise. So let's get out of dodge.
Our troops are under attack.
One man got caught amongst the Romans. Yes, we're being followed by some Companion Cavalry. They look like they might be a bit quicker than us, so they may well be more upgraded than we are. And we haven't got hammer back yet, so we can't turn around on them. Well, it looks like we're going to be capping out the enemy base very shortly. So maybe we should have a look, see if we can find them if they wanted to fight. Although it looks like they've turned around already, so maybe not. Hammer! Oh, not quite time, damn it! Ah, that would have been a lovely little side ambush on those Greeks then, but unfortunately not to be. Okay, well, a fairly disappointing pair of games there, really. Not quite the introduction I had hoped to showcase to the Tier 5. I don't even know if I want to look at this, to be honest. Well, we're not quite last, but only 2,300 points. That's a pretty poor game. Yeah, we made a few mistakes. I think perhaps we got a bit caught up fighting in the forest and the long grass. Obviously is not the natural home of cavalry. And I don't think that did us any favours. Not to mention the fact obviously we're not fully upgraded yet, so these guys are going to get a little bit better. And just a sort of a couple of poor decisions, particularly in that first game with how I sort of messed up the charges and got it all sort of the wrong way around a little bit. So that really didn't do me any favours either. So I am going to continue getting these guys a little bit more upgraded, continue to practice with them a little bit more, and hopefully come the next video we shall have some smashing games and do a little bit better. So thanks for watching, guys. Sorry the games aren't quite as good this episode as they have been on some of the others. So thanks for watching, and I shall see you all on the next episode.